I'm Ashley Gerber, and this is Sports Center.
Hi, I'm Jack Dolgen, and this is the Lions Report, the Horace Mann Sports Center. Today, we're featuring the boys varsity baseball team and girls varsity softball team as they each wrapped up the end of their seasons and made dazzling runs in the playoffs. And while it's one of our longest episodes yet, it might just be our best one too. We're really psyched because the episode's about to begin. Are you? Let's go to the field. Alright, so Horace Mann played their first game against Fieldston, the Ivy League powerhouse. And trailing by 1 run, here's Harrison Bader ripping the ball to right center field. In case you didn't know, he goes shopping at the gap when he can also turn on those wheels. The run-scoring triple would tie the game at 1 apiece. But unfortunately, Horace Mann couldn't do any more damage, as here's Michael Reese down looking to end the inning. Meanwhile, junior sensation Jesse Roth was under siege. As already trailing by 1 run, he's going to let up 2 more, and Horace Mann would go down 4-1. And we skip along to the next inning and watch this incredible play. Fieldston's going to bunt the ball, and watch what happens next. He's going to slide in, and he's called safe at first base. What an incredible effort. Fieldston would go on to win 5-3. Meanwhile, Horace Mann softball trying to continue its early season success, and here they were playing Dalton. And in the bottom of the first, here's Katie Puglia smacking the ball over all the outfielders. The RBI triple would give Horace Mann a 1-0 advantage. Your very next batter is Jamie Gropper, and well, she's going to do the same thing, except hit it to left field this time. But same hit, same result. She got an RBI triple. That would give Horace Mann a 2-0 lead. While it was certainly a great start, it was only capped off by this play. Please, in the name of glove, Katie Puglia coming over to make this spectacular catch. Let's head to the instant replay to see that. It's truly mind-blowing just how much ground she covers on this play. She runs over almost full extension to make it. Meanwhile, here's Paige McMahon singling up the middle to drive in Horace Mann's 5th and 6th runs of the game. They would go on to take the game by a score of 6-2. Horace Mann baseball was looking to respond by playing the Ivy League heavyweight poly prep, but unfortunately Elias Walk had a rough day. He's going to let up the 2-run single right here, and Horace Mann was in a 3-0 hole. Meanwhile, Poly Prep teed off against Elias Walk here, as they're going to rip the ball to deep right center field. It was out, and I don't think it was coming back. Poly Prep took a 5-0 advantage at that point, and they continued it, as Danny Beaudoin's going to make the errant throw off the bunt. That would lead to 2 more Poly Prep runs, and they would take the game in fashionable style, 8-0. So Horace Mann really needed a win, and Jesse Roth tried to give them one, but unfortunately already down 1-0 in the top of the first, he's going to let up this 2-run double to left center field. That would put Horace Mann in a 3-0 deficit. However, as you probably know, baseball is more than one-dimensional, and Jesse Roth is going to testify to that right here, smashing the ball over the left fielder. That brought him 1 run to make the score 3-1, and here came Elias Walk. Rounding third base, he came home, and he was called safe at the plate. Let's check our instant replay to see whether the ump made the correct call. As you can see, when we pause it right here, the ump in fact did make the correct call. He was safe. However, Horace Mann already down 4-3, and Jesse Roth is going to let up the single to right field, and it unfortunately gets by Carter Brown, moving the runner to second base and bringing in a run. Horace Mann was down 5-3, but after making the game 5-4, here's Ben Green with the turning point of the game. He's going to single the ball up the middle, and that would tie the score up at 5. A few batters later, here's Ryan Thier hitting the ball to right field, and watch as it dunks in there just in time before the collegiate right fielder can get to it. That brought in 2 runs to give Horace Mann a 9-5 lead, which was very secure for Horace Mann's closer and season MVP, Cameron Brown, who would secure the game right here. HM then took on a familiar foe in Fieldston, and already down 1-0, they're going to let up 2 more runs as the ball goes through the wickets of Brad McCandless to put Fieldston up 3-0. followed by this from Danny Beaudoin, looking to respond with 2 outs. He's going to bring in 1 run as he tries to extend to second base. Unfortunately, he was thrown out, but still a great effort, and Horace Mann was within 2. But make that within 1 as Jesse Roth is going to hit it to left center field. 1 of 2 hits for him and 1 of 3 RBIs. HM was just within 1 run of Fieldston, looking to complete the upset, but unfortunately the game got out of hand. Fieldston's going to rip the ball just over the head of Brad McCandless to make the game 5-2. That would be followed by this long shot to center field. Watch as it's going to just go, and it would wind up going for a ground rule double, but that would help Fieldston go on to win 9-5. So after finishing up the regular seasons, the boys varsity baseball team wound up with a 10-7 overall record, and the girls varsity softball team wound up with an 8-4 overall record. So both of them were eligible for the playoffs, and in the playoffs they would both be 5 seeds. The boys varsity baseball team would take on Berkeley Carroll in the first round, and the softball team would take on Riverdale. Those games are coming up right now. So Horace Mann played Berkeley Carroll, the number 4 seed in the first round of the baseball state playoffs, and already with a 2-run lead, here's Ben Green signaling to right field to increase the lead to 3-1 now. And that insurance run was the 2nd RBI on the day. However, in the bottom of the 4th, here's Berkeley Carroll also signaling to right field, and they would respond by scoring 1 run. However, the runner from second base would try to score, but was thrown out by a great relay, and that would preserve Horace Mann's 1-run lead. Really pivotal, and from there, Elias Walk would take over. With 9 strikeouts on the day, here he would ring one up and sit him down. Then, next batter, he would have him strike out swinging and also throw his bat, and then he would get this man down looking. So 3 strikeouts right there, but he also got some pivotal help from his defense. As you can see, Brad McCandless, the shortstop, making a terrific play with the diving effort. And look, as he goes full extension and snags the ball right before it hits the ground. And then in the bottom of the 7th, Elias needed 3 more outs to go to the next round. He gets the first man down swinging, and that was the case for the next 2 batters. There's 1 more and 1 out away from going to the state semis. And he would do just that as the fans and the players storm the field. What an incredible moment. And Elias Walk would send Horace Mann Lions to play Poly Prep. The first time they'd ever gone that far since the current MLB slugger Pedro Alvarez sent them there 8 years ago. Of course, the day couldn't have been complete without the classic Gatorade dump on the player who just threw one of the best performances in recent school history. Awaiting Horace Mann in the semis was Poly Prep, to whom Horace Mann had already lost 2 very lopsided games to. And here's Jesse Roth allowing the first run of the game off the bad throw. It was pretty clear the odds were not in favor of Horace Mann at that moment, nor were they after this perfectly executed hit and run by Poly Prep, which would leave a man on first and third base. After the Berkeley Carroll game, I had asked Coach Berniker what he thought the keys to this game were, and here's what he had to say.
Long ball, we have to chip away, get a run here, get a run there, and some timely hitting, good base running, good defense, and you know what? It's a good combination for a W.
Well, the team must have been eavesdropping in our interview because they would turn things around. As with runners on the corners and no outs, Jesse would get this strikeout, and then he would get the swing and miss and throw your bat while you're at it. That would make 2 outs for the Lions, but still they needed 1 more. So he would get defensive assistance from a slick-handed third baseman, Ben Green. And some way, somehow, the score remained intact, 1-0. Alright, so let's skip along to the top of the 4th now, in which Brad McCandless is going to start a 2-out rally singling it up the middle. That would be followed by this walk from Jesse Roth, and then another subsequent walk by his fellow junior, Glenn Brickman, to leave the bases juiced for Ben Green. And in the biggest moment of his baseball career, he's going to get on base safe. As you can see in the top of the screen, the throw goes over. By the way, those vocals in the background belong to his very happy younger brother, Evan, cheering him on. But as great as that was, Ricardo Fernandez would strike out to end the inning and leave the bases still loaded. And then in the bottom of the 7th, which for high schools is equivalent to the bottom of the 9th, Poly's going to get this game-winning hit with the runner on first base off Jesse Roth. And as great as a game and season as it was, 1 team could win and 1 team only. And unfortunately, that was not Horace Mann.
Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meanwhile, the Horseman's varsity softball team was playing in the state finals against Holy Child, and let's pick it up on the top of the second, where here Stephanie Chi smashed the ball to center field, and Jennifer Reese, coming all the way from second base, came home and was called safe at the plate by the ump to put Horseman up 1-0. Let's check our instant replay to see whether he got the call right, and indeed he did. As you can see, Jennifer just gets her body around the tag. Meanwhile, one of Horace Mann's most feared hitters, Sarah Land's going to smash the ball to right field, and Horace Mann was up 2-0, so they're feeling great about themselves. But unfortunately, they encountered some trouble as they get one out at second base, but unfortunately throw the ball wild at first. So their lead was cut in half by a score of 2-1 now. And then with the score tied 2-2, Karen Unziata, who played a fantastic game, makes one flaw, and it would cost them, as it would put Horace Mann in a 3-2 hole. And then with the score already 4-2, Holy Child's going to make it 5-2 with this single to left field. And so suddenly Horace Mann found itself down by 3 runs, with the season really hanging in the balance. And so in the top of the 6th, Katie Pulido tried to spark a rally as the ball was deflected off a shortstop, and that would bring in Sarah Land easily from second base. But then we go to the top of the 7th, and Horace Mann was down to its last out and no one was on base. But once again the rally was sparked, this time by Jamie Gropper signaling to right field. That was followed by Jennifer Reese hitting the ball to left field, so Mann on first and second and still 2 outs. And then the catcher, Ashley Gerber, would follow, making the bases loaded. So the Ducks were on the pond, season hanging in the balance once again. And here Stephanie Chi hit the ball to the third baseman, but she makes an incredible play, and that ends Horace Mann's season. Holy Child would win the state championship. Horace Mann was just so close, as we'll take another look right here in the replay. You can see Jennifer Reese doing everything she can to get to third base, but the ump makes the correct call. She was out just by a fraction of a second. We just want to note just how successful both teams did, even though they lost in the last game of their seasons. For the baseball team, it's true they lost in the semis to Poly, but they had lost to them by a combined score of 17-0 in the regular season. And in the semis, they only lost by a score of 2-1, and a game that they actually could have won. As for the softball team, yes, they lost for the 3rd year in a row in the state finals. But still, just the fact they made it that far is an incredible feat in of itself. Not to mention the fact they had lost a number of players from the year before. Also, just a few things about the Lions Report. We've officially been approved to be Horace Mann's first media publication, which basically means Horace Mann's first online publication. Second of all, we want to note that we have one more episode left this year, and that'll be a top play countdown of the athletic plays from the 2011-2012 season. And lastly, we just want to thank everyone for watching, and just know, anyone who's considering joining the Lions Report, please let us know. We'd love to have anyone aboard. There are many things for you to do, so please consider it deeply. We'd love to have anyone. On that note, I'm Jack Dolgen, and thanks for watching the Lions Report. It's been a pleasure.